Alright, it's Barry, and today I'm starting my tomato experiment for 2023. I've tried all sorts of different ways of feeding tomato plants over the last couple of years with mixed results, so this year I thought I'd go for a bit of a different approach and try out some different grow bags with very different prices. Grow bags are one of the most popular ways to grow tomato plants. If you haven't seen a grow bag before, it's basically a long bag of compost, and the idea is that you can cut holes into the top of the outer bag and then grow your plants directly in the compost without emptying it out. They're extremely convenient, especially if you don't have access to soil beds, so they're usually fairly clean as well, as far as having any weeds and things going there. They're normally fairly sterile as far as that goes, and they're really easy to look after as well, so they are a really good option if, like I say, you don't have access to a normal soil bed and you want to grow some tomatoes at home. Grow bags vary in size and price depending on the brand, and they also have different compost and additive recipes, which is where I'm expecting the biggest difference to be once we start growing with them. The way that I'm going to be recording the results of this experiment is just like with my previous ones. I'll count, weigh and record all of the tomatoes that grow on these plants right up until it's time for them to go to the grow bag in the sky. To make it fair, I'll find out the number of tomatoes, the overall harvested weight of tomatoes, the average tomato size, and also calculate the overall yield of each grow bag, accounting for the size and price to find out which one really is the best value. The early stages of plant growth is when these grow bags and their added nutrients will make the biggest difference. They'll all be watered the same way every day, and I'll be feeding them from 1 month from today. So the grow bag really is responsible for maximising growth and health of the plants in that period, at which point it'll be time for it to shift to being a host for the fertiliser that gets added into it, where it might be the size that makes the biggest difference to the root zone. So first, let's have a look at the tomato plants that I've grown especially for this experiment. So here is the tomato plants that I'm going to be using for the experiment. They're all moneymaker plants, and I grew these especially for this experiment. I actually grew these hydroponically. They've been growing in a nutrient solution in here. I've emptied it out now. And then for the last week or so, they've just been growing in water, which is just to get rid of any sort of remnants of that nutrient solution just out of the water, so that there's no sort of unfair advantages for the grow bags and things like that. So they're a reasonable size, they're not massive. When I decided I wanted to do this experiment, it was too late to sort of sow any normally and grow them like that, so I thought I'd do it this way because I wasn't going to pay like £2 a plant or whatever to buy all the plants for this. So I've got 12 plants here, which is enough for the 4 grow bags. There are a couple of different mixed sizes, but I'll make sure that they're evenly distributed just so that we're being as fair as possible. Started seeing some algae growth in there once they started getting that nutrients and like the algae. There's not much you can do about it when they're in one of these. So you can see just where the light isn't hitting it, there's no algae at all. I mean, that's no use now, but yeah, I've got 12 plants there. They're going to be just going straight into those grow bags, and these will really take off once they get in there. With the heat and the humidity this week, it's absolutely perfect for growing tomatoes. Now that we've got the tomato plants, it's time to have a look at the grow bags, and they're all advertised as 3-plant grow bags, so I'm going to plant them up with 3 plants in each one, just to be fair. Starting off with the cheapest grow bag at £1.50 from Home Bargains, we have the Growmoor Grow Plus Start 22 litre grow bag, which is just under 7p per litre of compost. It's the smallest of the grow bags that I'm testing, but only time's going to tell whether that'll be an issue or not. These grow bags are really good value to use just as normal compost. I use them for everything. I use them to fill my raised bed. I use them for my seedlings. It's really good quality stuff for the price. So I'm hoping that these do the job. So here we go, we've got the Growmoor Grow Plus Start 3-plant grow bag. The unique blend of this nutrient-enriched growing bag encourages both healthy root development and stress resistance to produce vigorous and healthy plants. Enriched with 100% organic fertiliser, improved water retention, added nutrients and trace elements for healthier plants, and start feeding at 3 to 4 weeks. So it's saying that there's plenty of good stuff in there. We've got on the back a bit of a stencil for your 3 plants. I'm not going to use that. I mean, sometimes it depends on what you prefer really. You can either cut out these squares or you can cut out a big section to make it a bit easier for watering. I'll probably do that because this little bit here does minimal amounts of water retention, so it's not really going to make any sort of difference. There's plenty of instructions on there and everything, which is quite nice. So first job is to just break up everything inside the grow bag, give it a good roll around, just to loosen that up as much as possible and reach your maximum volume of your bag. So there we go, that's all nice and puffed up. Put that there like that. And like I say, I'm just going to cut a big square out of that, and then it makes it easier for watering and feeding them. I'll fold that over like that. And there we go, that is ready for planting. And as you can see, this compost it's really nice actually. It's quite fine, you know, there's a couple of little sticky bits in there, but not loads. It's a really nice brown colour. Yeah, I like this compost, so you can see it's pretty good stuff. And once it breaks up, there's the odd bit, like I say, but not too much. So let's get those tomato plants and get them planted up in here. Start with a medium one in the middle. You can see just we've got a nice amount of roots just growing on the bottom of that plug. Perfect for growing. And probably just about the right time before they start growing out through the bottom of the tray and getting broken and stuff when we transplanted them. So that is probably a really nice stage to be planting it. So I'm going to put that one in the middle, get that in there. And that's another reason why I really like starting with grow plugs, because they're so easy to plant. Like, they're so easy to transplant, they don't take up that much room, so they're ideal really for this sort of thing. That one has got a bit more of a root on it, but again, that can just get plopped straight in there. I put this right at this end. I mean, I feel like this isn't enough room. I mean, I'd put one plant in this much compost. I don't know about 3. Just make sure it's getting enough support there. I'll probably be using wire to give these support because I can't cane them. I'll figure something out, maybe a frame or something at some point. It's just a case of making sure that there's plenty of compost up to the edges if you are putting 3 in, because you want to make sure that there's enough compost at this end just so that the plant's not flopping around and falling over and everything. So there we go. That is the first 3 plants in. Next up is the Grandiol grow bag from Lidl, which come in at £2.50 each for 27 litres, which is 9p per litre. I don't really rate these. They were £2 last year, which was at least reasonable, but for £2.50 a bag, I'd probably pass on these. They've been really poor quality in the past and absolutely rammed with sticks and stones, bits of wood. There's all sorts in there, and a couple of times at least, I've had a very distinct smell that's somewhat similar to the bags of fertiliser that water treatment facilities sell, and I'm not saying that's what's in there, it's just something that I've noticed. So, Grandiol growing bag from Lidl, now peat free, which is good. Probably accounts for why there's so many sticks in, and now come to think of it, I don't actually know if the Grow Plus one has peat in it, because that's not great if it does, so that's probably why they're so cheap. Maybe they're trying to get rid of them before it becomes illegal next year or the year after, whenever that is. But yeah, onto this one anyway, I'll find that out. We've got 27 litres when filled, ideal for tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, aubergines, strawberries and salad crops, aubergines. On the back, we've got some instructions again, directions for use, which is also, you know, it's always useful if you've not used one before to have that information handy. So, again, breaking everything up that's in there, give it a roll. Make sure that all that compost is evenly distributed inside the grow bag. And then again, I'm going to cut a hole in the top. Exactly the same, fold that over. And I mean, you can see the difference already in this compost. I mean, it's dry anyway because it's been in the polytunnel. They're going to get watered, but it's I don't know. It's black, whereas the other was brown. And I mean, it's absolutely full of sticks. There's loads. It's just wood. It's sort of like what you'd find under the leaves on a forest floor. Stuff that's kind of broke down, but not completely. But I mean, it's really poor quality stuff. I'd go as far as, I mean, look, there's a piece of plastic in it. It's really, really rubbish stuff. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not holding my breath on this one. It's just rubbish, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't use this for seedlings or anything like that. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'll get a bit of the other one and a bit of this one. This is fluffy. This isn't. So get the plants, get one in this end. And these make it loads easier as well for doing grow bags, just because you've not got all that soil on the bottom of it going in, so it's a bit easy. That's got loads of roots on it. That's a nice one. And there we are, another one done. Next, we've got a slightly more premium own brand bag from Wilco. This cost me £4 when I bought it, but they've now brought them down to a more reasonable £3 since then. This one is 33 litres, and at the current price, that brings it to 9p a litre, and in decimal places is marginally cheaper than the Lidl bag. There we go. The Wilco Pete free grow bag, 33 litres when filled. For fruits and vegetables, protects from soil-borne pests and diseases, enriched with plant feed, direct planting holes, and when filled, we've got 33 litres. Now this one, I'd probably be more inclined to cut these out just because it's a bigger one, but I'm not. I'm just going to treat them all the same so that they're all growing with the same conditions. This one, oh, it's heavy. Recommended for greenhouse growing. Let's have a look if there's anything here. That's quite nice. 3 plants per bag for tomatoes. Lettuces 20 centimetres apart as required. Cucumbers 2 or 3. Melons 3 or 4. Strawberries up to 10. That's really nice information that they recommend different quantities of different plants to go in there and everything. It's nice to have some certifications on there. The bag's recyclable as well. That's quite good. So we'll see what this is like when we get it open. I haven't used one of these, so interested to see how these compare to the Lidl one, because maybe it is just that they are peat free and that is why there's all these sticks and stuff in them, and maybe it's something that we're just gonna have to get used to. I mean, we should be anyway, because peat's really bad for the environment, and that's why using peat in grow bags and things is bad for the environment. At least it's good when it's where it's supposed to be. It's good for the environment, but it is good that it's being outlawed, because it's going to stop all that environmental damage that comes from removing it. And maybe we're just going to have to start sieving everything, getting those sticks out. Yeah, first impressions, the bag's open there. It looks a bit like the Lidl one. It's got that, oh, it smells like bark mulch. There's some fungus here. In fact, there's quite a lot. I can see it all over there. This has got mycelium in it. So there is definitely some kind of fungal pathogen in there. I don't know what it is, obviously, but it's in there. So that might be an issue. It might not. It might be beneficial. I'm not going to do anything about it. It's just going to be growing it as it comes. I mean, you can see that there's quite a bit of wood fibre in there, but it's a lot fluffier than the Lidl one. That was quite like dry and like really, I don't know, really dry and weird, but this is dead fluffy, and it's like wool. It's really weird. But yeah, let's get these plants in. Get that broken up just there. Don't want any lumps in there. Yeah, strange plants. try and mix up the sizes again. That one's a bit of a smaller one. But once these are, I mean, these are lovely and warm actually inside. When I'm opening up the compost, lovely. These plants are going to absolutely thrive in these bags now. They're going to go absolutely crazy, which is really nice. They're going to all be catching up and they'll be indistinguishable within maybe a week or something. At least in each bag they will be. I don't know how the bags are going to perform at this point, but we'll see, we'll see. And finally, the top of the range grow bag. This is a Westland Big Tom 55 litre tomato planter. I got this one from B&Q and it was £7.50 or 14p a litre, which I'd never pay for a grow bag in a million years. So let's hope that this one lives up to the price, and it's double the size of the cheapest bag and the biggest of them all by quite some margin. So I am hoping that this one is the winner, but we'll see. And then finally, the Westland Big Tom. This thing is absolutely enormous, naturally peat-free. Again, so we've got 3 peat-free bags, one that I'm not entirely sure about. I'm guessing if it doesn't say it's peat-free that it's not going to be peat-free. Westland are a big compost maker in the UK. I've had mixed opinions of their compost in the past. I can't remember which one it is. It's in a big blue bag. It might have been the John Innes stuff. Absolutely full of nightshade. I mean, absolutely full of it. Every single hanging basket I made with it, everything I made with that blue bag compost. I mean, I used 2 pallets of it and it was all the same. So it wasn't like an isolated incident with one bag. It was like a big sort of, maybe a whole batch of it was absolutely full of nightshade. I mean, I've even got one in the greenhouse. I'll take a quick picture of it. I assumed it was a chili plant. It's the same family, and they were planted in that compost, and the only thing that's grown in it is a nightshade. So yeah, I don't rate these either, to be honest. So we've got tasty healthy tomatoes. This is specifically for growing tomatoes. Seaweed enriched for fruit formation, calcium rich to prevent blossom end rot, which is nice. Feeds for up to 6 weeks. So this is saying it's going to be feeding it for 2 weeks longer than the cheapest one, and it's, what's this, an accredited member of the responsible sourcing scheme. On the back's just loads of adverts for the tomato food and stuff. So again, even though this has got much more space for making individual holes, I'm going to treat it exactly the same as the other ones, just to be fair. There we go, that is open. Again, really nice black colour, which, you know, I'm quite happy with as far as it not having the peat in it goes. We have got sticks in here. I'd expect this to be more processed. Oh, gee, I mean, look at that. I'd expect this to be better. For £7.50 a bag, I'd expect to not be getting big sticks in there like that. I'd expect it to be properly broken down, and then at least it be processed at the factory. I just realised I didn't break this up, that's why it's all compressed. But I'd expect, I'm going to have to do it by hand, I'd expect the factory to have at least processed it to a degree that it's not going to have big sticks like that in it. I mean, that's a big lump there. For £7.50. Yeah, not impressed with that as far as the quality goes for stone, which was another problem that I had with the other bags of Westland compost. It's like, it's pebbles. There shouldn't be pebbles in compost, like, especially not for this price. This is supposed to be like a premium brand of compost. There we go, we've got slow release fertilizer in there, so that is the added bits that they put in. I mean, I've seen one up to now, so it's not a great amount. That'll do. Just make sure it's all nice and broken up at least. There we go. Yeah, I mean, just off the top, oh, look at that! Just off the top. Look at all these bits of rubbish that are in there. I mean, especially stones, that's especially poor, because that's just adding weight to it that isn't what you're paying for. I mean, these can stay in there because that's what came with it. I I mean, I'll let you be the judge of that. Is that worth £7.50 for a grow bag with all that rubbish in it? I wouldn't say so. I mean, it's probably... this would be alright if you was adding it to your, you know, adding it to your beds. For, you know, putting it in your beds at the end of the season maybe, which is what I do with my grow bags once I've finished with them. I just put them straight into my beds, as I would with a normal compost. Maybe this one I'm not sure about because I don't trust it too much, but there we go, that's quite a small one, but I'll catch up, that's perfectly fine. So there we go. That's all 4 bags planted up. I can't get over that for the price. That is really, really poor. So here is all 4 grow bags already done and in the polytunnel. This is the new polytunnel that I built a couple of weeks ago, and I've put them on this side of it. Basically this gets the most of the sun. It gets it as it comes over the fence in the morning. It goes straight over the top, and then it gets it for the most of the evening as well. So this is the side they've decided to go for as far as that goes. And now looking at them all side by side, colour wise that's a much lighter brown. Again, suspicious there's peat in there. These two, similar price, £2.50, £3. That one's a lighter grey, whereas this one is more of a brown. It's greyish, not sure. Then that one is much darker, it's much blacker than the other ones, but again, filled with all that rubbish. And while I've been doing this, just as a bit of an extra point, apart from this one, I found plastic in each of these. This had some weird green plastic in it, like it looked like a piece of like garden netting maybe. It also had a piece of blue plastic that looked a bit like a damp course liner. This had a little tiny piece of white plastic in it. Nothing major, but it was there. And then this one had a little tiny piece of green plastic in it as well, which again, for that price, not happy with. £7.50 for a bag of compost, or for a grow bag, it should be absolutely perfect, so not happy with you. So there we go, the grow bags are all planted and ready to go. Let me know in the comments section which grow bag you think is going to be the best one. And if you have a favourite type of grow bag, let me know that as well, because it's really great to hear all of your opinions. That's all we've got time for today. I'll be doing regular updates on this experiment over the coming months. So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel and turn on those notifications to get all of those updates as they arrive. It really helps my channel and it motivates me to make more videos when I know that people enjoy them. Hopefully we'll see some really quick results and some good growth, given that it is absolutely boiling this week, and I'll see you next time.